Along with the Spyder taillight review, I'm also going to be reviewing and talking about the Enzo third brake light. Not too many people I know have this. Usually they go with the DNA Motors one off of eBay or Amazon. I personally went with this one because it's the darkest tint. There are issues with it in terms of light output. Not that the third brake light really matters all that much as far as I'm concerned in terms of light output. But it doesn't sit flush. Now there's ways to remedy this. You will have to trim these little plastic pieces that go into holes in the top of the truck. The screws are perfectly long. It's not the problem. The plastic pieces that are there, they just need to be filed down a bit in order for it to slide in. If you want this to sit flush, there's a seal that this light is attached to, comes pre-sealed. That way it doesn't leak on the inside of the truck. The DNA Motors one and a couple of the other ones don't come pre-sealed, so you have to actually buy a sealer and seal it off, or else you'll get leaking into the cab of your truck. So that's the main issue with this, is it won't sit flush unless you trim a little bit of the pegs and a little bit of the foam around the outside. But if you trim the foam around the outside, then you're going to run the risk of having it leak into the truck. Alright, now let's take a look at the light output during the daytime for the Spyder taillights. Take a look at the light output for the third brake light in the daytime. I apologize for the angle of the camera for the daytime light output for the Spyders. I am at work and I'm trying to throw up a couple videos on the YouTube channel just before I head down to the New Jersey truck invasion. Alrighty, now let's take a look at how both sets of lights work at night, the Enzo third brake and the Spyder taillights. So this is the Spyder taillights at night. This is in the daylight running light mode. As you can see, the bars on both sides light up. This is how it's supposed to look. And I can show you what the turn signals on both sides look like and the reverse. The reverse lights are very bright. They illuminate quite a bit behind you. They're far better than stock as far as I'm concerned in terms of how much light output there is when reversing. Now it is the nighttime test of the Enzo third brake light, both the brake application and the cargo light. As you can see, the red is fairly bright. It's noticeable. The cargo lights, not so much. They are far worse than stock. You can't see anything, basically, in the dark of night. if you put them on and expected to be able to see a lot better because they're LEDs and they would light up the whole ass of the truck, you are going to be disappointed. So right now I'm going to throw up a couple of images of the lead connectors, both from the taillight and the truck. That way you can see what kind of condensation was built up and the fact that it shorted out. This here is a General Motors wiring harness. I had to replace the entire wiring harness off of the truck for the brake light because it had shorted out so bad. Once I replaced it, slapped some dielectric grease on both the lead end connector from the taillight and the one from the wiring harness on the truck, these lights became 1000% brighter. They work completely, no issues. I have had an issue with a second set that were placed on my girlfriend's truck, or 700 Blackout is how she goes about on Instagram, and we had to actually bypass this connector entirely and just hardwire it into the taillight. So there are issues with these lights if you don't take their necessary precautions.